Have you ever noticed that some faces seem to glow, not from beauty, not from youth, but from something invisible? They walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts. They speak, and you feel calmer. They age, yet somehow look more alive. This isn't luck. It isn't genetics. It's psychology, or more precisely, alchemy. Carl Jung believed that our energy field, the invisible atmosphere of our psyche, doesn't just shape our destiny. It shapes our face. What you're about to discover is not about skincare or lifestyle. It's about inner chemistry, because the way you process emotion, thought, and shadow literally sculpts the geometry of your expression. By the end of this journey, you'll understand why some faces radiate peace and why others seem haunted, even when smiling. Every emotion leaves an imprint, every thought leaves a trace. You may not see it happening, but your psyche, your unseen inner world, is sculpting you from the inside out. Carl Jung called this psychosomatic alchemy, the meeting point of psyche and soma, where mind and matter exchange secrets. He noticed something extraordinary. As a person integrates their unconscious, the fears, memories, and hidden emotions they've long avoided, their physical presence changes. Their features soften, their eyes deepen, their posture steadies. Their energy feels complete. Because the body tells the truth even when the mind cannot. It remembers what the conscious self denies. Think of two faces, one tight with resentment, jaw locked, lips pressed, eyes guarded. The other open, serene, quietly aware, carrying the same scars, the same losses, yet radiating calm acceptance. Both have suffered, but only one has digested that suffering, transformed it into understanding. The other still carries it like undigested emotion trapped in the muscles. Jung believed that every unspoken emotion becomes physical. Suppressed anger stiffens the jaw. Uncried tears settle behind the eyes. Denied joy fades from the mouth. Even posture changes. The shoulders curve under invisible weight, as if trying to protect the heart from feeling too much. The body is an autobiography the mind writes in silence. It records every conflict, every forgiveness, every moment of resistance or release. Look closely. The face becomes a map of the soul's journey. Every wrinkle is a sentence, every shadow a secret, every softness a sign of reconciliation. Some faces tell stories of avoidance, others of awakening. And that difference, that invisible architecture beneath the skin, is what we call radiance. Carl Jung once said, "The shadow is 90% pure gold." What he meant is that the very parts of ourselves we hide, our fears, anger, shame, envy, hold the greatest potential for transformation. That gold is radiance, but it has to be extracted. When emotion is repressed, it doesn't disappear. It hardens. It congeals into heaviness, into tension, into that quiet fatigue that no amount of sleep can fix. But when you face it, when you feel it without judgment, something remarkable happens. That same energy begins to release light. The ancients called this alchemy, the transmutation of base metal into gold. But Jung saw it as psychological, turning dense, painful emotion into subtle, living energy. Modern psychology calls it integration, because the difference between someone who radiates light and someone who drains it isn't what they've been through. It's how consciously they've metabolized their experience. You've met these people. They've suffered deeply, yet they glow. Their presence calms you. Their words carry weight without force. Even when they're tired, something in them still shines. That's not perfection. It's permeability. Their ego is no longer a thick wall. It's become translucent. The light of their soul shines through the cracks that used to be wounds. Think of radiance as emotional transparency. Nothing sticks. Nothing festers. Grief moves through and becomes compassion. Fear moves through and becomes clarity. Pain moves through and becomes wisdom. These people haven't avoided darkness. They've worked with it. They've stirred it, burned it, purified it until only light remained. This is the alchemy Jung spoke of, the true art of transformation. Not escaping the shadow, but mining it. Not fighting pain, but refining it. Because in the end, radiance isn't what you add to yourself. It's what's revealed when nothing is left blocking the light. Every face carries a shadow. You can see it, if you know how to look. In the tightness behind a polite smile. In eyes that glance away just a little too soon. In the stillness of a face that seems too controlled. Carl Jung called this the persona. The mask we wear to survive. It's how we protect ourselves, how we fit in, how we appear fine. But here's the tragedy. When the mask hardens, the muscles forget how to relax. And over time, the person forgets how to be real. You can't fake radiance. It's not a look. It's a return. Radiance begins the moment the mask cracks. When grief is allowed to be seen. When anger is acknowledged instead of hidden. When the body stops performing and starts feeling. There's a moment that happens in real time. You've seen it before. Someone finally tells the truth about their pain, and their entire face changes. The tension drops. The color returns. The eyes, once flat or guarded, begin to shine again. That's not makeup. That's not youth. That's energy returning to circulation, because when emotion is blocked, the body freezes to contain it. When truth is spoken, the body melts. The nervous system exhales. The mask dissolves. Radiance has nothing to do with perfection. It's the afterglow of authenticity. When you stop pretending to be okay and let yourself be, your soul finally steps forward. And the face, the skin, the eyes. They all remember what aliveness feels like. That is the shadow made visible, not as darkness, but as depth. Not as flaw, but as light finally freed from hiding. Carl Jung once said, "The soul is partly in the body." He meant that spirit and flesh are not opposites. They are collaborators, co-authors of the same story. When you treat your body as a machine, a collection of organs and bones to be maintained, you age according to time. Linear, predictable, inevitable. But when you treat your body as a temple of consciousness, you begin to age according to awareness. Something timeless awakens within you. The people who radiate that mysterious youthfulness, the kind that no cream or surgery can create, they have aligned psyche and soma. Their mind no longer attacks their body with criticism or fear. Their emotions no longer poison their blood with unprocessed pain. Their cells begin to listen to something higher, an inner rhythm of harmony, peace, and meaning. Modern science is finally beginning to confirm what Jung knew long ago. Epigenetics shows that your thoughts and emotions can literally change the way your genes express themselves. Meditation increases telomerase, an enzyme that slows cellular aging and extends life. Your biology is not a prison. It's a mirror of your state of consciousness. And Jung predicted this decades before research could measure it. He wrote that meaning itself is medicine. A life without meaning decays. A life infused with purpose, reflection, and mystery renews itself. He called this the light within matter. The alchemists believed that divine energy lives even in physical substance. And when your awareness touches it, the matter itself begins to glow. In modern language, your consciousness is your skincare. Every thought of gratitude nourishes your cells. Every moment of truth clears your complexion. Every act of love strengthens your immune system. To honor your body is to honor the soul that animates it, because when the two are no longer divided, when spirit and flesh remember they are one, time itself begins to soften around you. Every culture has known this figure, the radiant one, the being who seems to carry light, not upon the skin, but within it. In Egypt, she was Isis, goddess of magic and restoration. In India, Saraswati, embodiment of wisdom and flow. In Jung's language, this is the integrated self, the union of the conscious and the unconscious, glowing from within like alchemical gold. The radiant self is not a personality. It's not charm or beauty or charisma. It's a field. When someone embodies it, the atmosphere around them shifts. You feel calmer, clearer, somehow more yourself in their presence. Their energy doesn't demand attention. It invites coherence. Because their inner world is ordered, their outer world reflects that order. This is the essence of what Jung meant when he said, the psyche organizes matter. The unseen governs the seen. Your inner architecture, your thoughts, emotions, archetypal alignment, literally arranges how the molecules of your body and your environment hold form. That's why two people can walk through the same storm. One collapses, the other glows. It's not circumstance, it's coherence. Radiance isn't about attracting others, it's about resonating with life itself. It's the frequency of wholeness, the vibration of someone who has integrated their shadow, who no longer fights themselves, whose inner contradictions have turned into music instead of noise. And here's the paradox. You don't have to project energy to be radiant. You are energy. Every thought, every breath, every feeling contributes to the invisible geometry of your being. When that energy harmonizes, it doesn't just change you. It reorganizes the world around you. People feel safer. Rooms feel lighter. Time feels slower. That's the archetype of radiance. The soul so integrated that its light no longer flickers. It illuminates. Most people don't age because of time. They age because of disconnection. Disconnection from their emotions, from their purpose, from the quiet rhythm of nature that their soul was designed to follow. They suppress tears until the eyes lose their brightness. They force smiles until the mouth forgets how to express real joy. They carry guilt until the shoulders curve beneath invisible weight. And slowly, the body begins to mirror the distance within. Because when energy stops moving, life starts leaving. That isn't vanity. It's physics. Carl Jung once said, "The unconscious, when denied, takes revenge through the body." When the psyche is silenced, it doesn't disappear. It simply speaks in another language. A wrinkle that forms not from laughter but from years of tension. A stiffness that shields repressed grief. A fatigue that no amount of sleep can heal. These are not random signs of aging. They are messages. Unheard emotions solidify into form. Old defenses turn into posture. Bitterness becomes chemistry. But here's the miracle. The alchemy can reverse. The very moment you stop performing, when you let yourself cry, forgive, release, breathe, the current of life begins to flow again. The eyes regain their clarity. The face lifts, not through surgery, but through sincerity. The body remembers softness. When you return to authenticity, you re-enter harmony with the laws of nature. And nature rewards honesty with vitality. You stop fighting time and begin collaborating with it. You realize that aging was never the enemy. Disconnection was, because the soul doesn't age. Only the masks do. And when you let them fall, time itself becomes gentler. Not a punishment, but a presence. So, how do you become radiant? Not by forcing positivity, not by pretending everything's fine, and definitely not by suppressing pain beneath a spiritual smile. Radiance begins the moment you turn toward yourself completely. Carl Jung called this process individuation, the lifelong dialogue between the ego and the soul. It's the art of becoming whole, not perfect. To individuate is to meet every part of yourself, the child who still aches to be seen, the critic who fears failure, the dreamer who still believes, and the shadow, the side you've tried so hard to hide. Each time you turn toward one of these exiled parts and say, "You're allowed to exist," you reclaim energy that has been trapped in repression. And that energy doesn't just shift your inner world, it alters your frequency, your tone, your presence, your very face. This is what Jung meant when he said that the face is the mirror of the soul. When you integrate the rejected pieces of your psyche, your body follows suit. The muscles relax, the eyes clear, the lines of your face soften, not by erasing time, but by releasing tension. Because radiance is not the absence of age, it's the presence of alignment. Every time your mind and body reconcile, the marks of stress transform into maps of wisdom. Each wrinkle tells a story not of decay, but of survival. Each scar becomes a symbol of transformation. The more of yourself you include, the more alive you appear. And that aliveness, that wholeness, is what people recognize as light. It's not something you add to yourself. It's what emerges when you finally stop abandoning who you are. The light returns, the face remembers, and even if the world can't explain it, it feels it. The ancient alchemists had a saying, "As above, so below. As within, so without." Carl Jung took that mystical formula and turned it into psychology. Your inner world creates your outer experience. But what if that isn't just a poetic idea? What if it's literal? What if every emotion you feel, every surge of love, every wave of resentment, actually alters the electromagnetic field around your body? What if your joy doesn't just make you feel lighter, but literally emits light? Modern science is beginning to catch up. Researchers call it biophoton emission, tiny pulses of light your cells release as they communicate. When you are aligned, calm, and coherent, those photons become brighter and more synchronized. Mystics call this aura expansion. Jung called it the psyche manifesting through matter. This isn't superstition, it's observation. You've seen it before. The person who walks into a room and somehow brightens it. The friend whose energy feels heavy even before they speak. The leader who radiates peace simply by being present. When you live in alignment, your inner world and your outer form begin to resonate. Your cells sing in harmony, literally vibrating at coherent frequencies. But when you live in conflict, when you deny emotion or resist truth, that music turns to static. The body falls out of tune. You can see it in the mirror. You can feel it in a conversation. You can even sense it in silence. Radiance isn't a look. It's a soundless symphony. Your energy is the melody. Your body is the instrument. When they play together, when your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in rhythm, you glow. Not metaphorically, but in the most literal, luminous way a human being can. The truly radiant never fight time. They collaborate with it. They don't chase youth. They don't deny change. They move with the seasons of their soul. Because they understand something most of the world has forgotten. Aging is not decay. It's revelation. Every decade strips away what is false, what was borrowed, performed, or pretended, and polishes what is real. You start to see it in their faces, not frozen in defiance, but alive with depth. Softness replaces fear. Clarity replaces confusion. Presence replaces performance. The radiant face doesn't resist time. It reflects eternity. It belongs partly here and partly elsewhere, to that timeless field Jung called the self. The wholeness that transcends opposites, where youth and age, beauty and decay, are just masks the soul wears for a while. In this state, beauty becomes something far beyond appearance. It becomes truth. Not decoration, but declaration. It says, I have lived, I have suffered, I have transformed, and I am still becoming. Every line becomes scripture. Every scar becomes a symbol of awakening. Every glance carries the weight of a life fully inhabited. This is what Jung meant when he said that the goal of life is not perfection, but wholeness. And wholeness, that rarest of lights, does not fade with age. It deepens, because time can only wrinkle what is temporary. It cannot touch the eternal radiance that glows from within the integrated soul. That is the secret of timelessness, not to escape time, but to illuminate it. So the next time you look in the mirror, don't just study the surface, don't search for flaws or signs of time. Instead, listen. Your face is speaking to you. It carries your story, the tears, the laughter, the resilience, but it also carries your potential. Every line is a sentence in the language of the soul. Every light in your eyes is proof that consciousness still burns within you. You are not at war with time. You are in conversation with it. Each breath, each emotion, each moment of awareness is sculpting your reflection, moment by moment, into something truer. Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And that's exactly what radiance is. Not the pursuit of beauty, but the revelation of authenticity. When you finally live in harmony with your inner world, your outer world aligns. Your face becomes a living symbol of truth, not ageless, but timeless. Because radiance isn't what you apply. It's not what you show. It's what shines through you. It's the quiet light that tells the world, you've met yourself, you've made peace, and you've begun to live from the soul outward.